Racers and Rental Cars podcast with your host, Top Fuel Cam, Cameron Bure, and his co-host, Mr. Top Sportsman, Don O'Neill.
Keep on till they can't ignore you. Put it up for the Wigan Warriors.
What's up, Don?
What's going on, Cam?
Oh, I like to start this off the same way. Another beautiful day in paradise.
Well, that's only because you're in California and I'm in the Midwest.
But it is.
Known as...
There's like 3 clouds in the sky today, so just saying.
So that's like 3 strikes.
Yep.
All right. What is? Oh man, it's the middle of the week. I'm struggling a little bit here. What are we doing today? This is episode what? What is it? 7?
7.
10? 7. All right, so we're doing 7, and we're doing. Everybody hear that paper? We actually do plan these things out, regardless of what it may sound like. It's only 1 sheet of paper too. It's not like there's a lot.
No.
We're gonna do social media.
Social media. Why are we talking about social media? Because everybody seems to think that the world revolves around social media. So let's talk about social media and how people portray themselves on the internet in any way, shape, or form of social media, and what that can gain for yourself or not gain for yourself for looking like a knucklehead.
Well,
Don, you don't have 500 million followers on Instagram, so I don't think you're cool enough.
well, I can go out and spend $25 a month, and I can get 750,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh,
But you know, I might get lopped in with a group of people then, so that probably, you know, I don't want to be in that group.
like the followers that get bought from like Moscow that have nothing to do with the things or interests or anything of that matter that a potential sponsor or somebody would really even care about.
Yeah, because there's nothing like having a 15-year-old who's interested in Barbies to be following you on Instagram from Sofia, Bulgaria. Because I can get there on Instagram. She's following me on Snapchat.
There you go. Okay, well, since we're talking social media, which one do we want to start with? What are the cool kids doing these days? Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
Okay, so I got a house full of girls. So, I'm the old guy. So in the house, we break it down this way. I typically see things on Facebook. That's where I'm at. So as my daughters tell me, I am in. Facebook is the 30 to 40 somethings, 30s and ups. That's what my daughters tell me. And then it breaks down that you got that little layer in there of crossover between Facebook and Instagram, where Instagram is kind of in the early teens, mid-teens, and up to that like 30 range. And then it crosses over into Facebook. And then most everybody else beyond Instagram down in the teenage years is all about the Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how it's explained to me in my house.
I can relatively agree with that. We have a lot of discussions about what is what when it comes to in marketing meetings and things like that. My personal opinion is pretty close to that. I chalk Facebook up as maybe a little older than, I'm 33, so I would say maybe like mid 30s to like my dad's age. My dad's like 60. My dad does not have Facebook because I don't allow him to have Facebook. He's a teacher, so it's probably not a good idea. So with that, you have Facebook that's, I guess, tier A. And then below that, you got Instagram, which is probably like my age to like, mid 35s to, I don't know, younger. Like it the spectrum is a lot wider. And then Snapchat is definitely a high school, middle school thing. I had it when it first came out, but I got rid of it because I didn't think it was a good idea. My reasoning on that is because it goes away. So you can't even prove what you did. Even though the photos are probably lying somewhere that people don't realize they are. Remember that, kids.
There's a Snapchat hard drive that's out there in cyberspace.
It's kind of like that cloud. It's on somebody else's computer.
Right. Yeah. We'll have how they had, what was it for the Facebook movie? What was the name of it? Social something.
Oh, the social network.
Social network. Yeah. So we're going to have one of those here in another decade that'll be all Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it'll be how that was created, and we'll have all the hot or not photos that'll pop up on there. Though, it's funny though, the one thing that I really enjoyed while I was in the military that I feel like has kind of fallen to the wayside and don't really know where the actual XY group is, and that's Twitter.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of news media outlets and so forth, and professional athletes that seem to be all about the Twitter. But at the same time, I feel like, you can still buy these followers and bots and so forth. And it's like, do you really want to have conversations with trolls who seem to want to attack you for everything?
What I've noticed about Twitter's actually, I have Twitter and I don't use it very often, but I use it for things like news, kind of like more newsworthy stuff, right?
Press releases.
Yeah, things like that. But it's huge in like England and the UK and like Sweden, like any European country. They, for some reason, love Twitter, which is cool. So, I mean, in my arena, like I'm super into speedway motorcycle racing. So I have Twitter because I look at results and things like that because they post them on Twitter. So that's what I use Twitter for. But I mean, that's nor here nor there, but it's just interesting to see how big it is in Europe versus here. Like I don't even know if kids in high school or even older, they're like, Twitter, like what's like, that's a little bird, right? Like they don't.
Right. Yeah, no. And you typically, so kind of the ones that I kind of enjoy to kind of see that on Twitter, believe it or not, I love some of the NASCAR racers that get on there and they kind of throw those jabs and but it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek type statement that'll make it on, Fox Sports or FS1 on Monday during Race Hub or something, or it's on, XM radio. And then, if you're on Twitter and you're in drag racing, you got to follow Langdon and JR Ty, because those two are, to me, are just hilarious with how they do their jabs at folks.
What's funny is on Twitter, it's almost like people, they think everybody's forgotten about it, but they want to say something so bad. So they're like, screw it, I'm going to post it on Twitter. And then it's like, so then it like starts to trickle out like, oh, did you see what so-and-so said on Twitter? And they're like, no, I don't even have it. So then they're like, oh, well, I haven't logged into that for 3 years. Let me go check it out. Like, and then somebody will screenshot it and post it on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But
and the next thing you know, it's running across the bottom of the ticker on your TV screen.
Yeah, exactly. So let's break this down for motorsports wise. So let's talk Facebook. Now, why is social media even a conversation that we're going to be having? Is because a lot of racing, marketing, all this stuff these days is revolving around social media, right? So is it good to be a racer and have social media profiles that are active and present within what's going on? What's a good idea when it comes to what you post, or pretty much anything like that? So I guess let's start with Facebook. Facebook I feel like has taken quite a bit of a downturn in the past year or so. With all the election, all that, everybody just thinks everything's fake that gets posted on Facebook, which, I find myself hardly using Facebook anymore unless I'm posting something racing related or like a big life event or something like my birth my child or something like that. Like, it's not like, oh, hey, I'm doing this, or like I'm walking down the street going to the bar or whatever. Like, it's more so like I use Facebook as, hey, like, checked into the airport because I'm going to Indy, or I'm going here for racing to promote my sponsors or whatever, going racing, that kind of thing. Now, I personally have a personal Facebook page, and I also have a quote unquote fan racing page. In my world, unfortunately, they've kind of both merged, and I've found myself more so posting on my quote personal page strictly like racing, because it kind of merged, like with what I do for work at RacePack. Like, it, you know, I know so many people that it's all just kind of like
blurred lines.
There's like 5,000 people on there that I mean, yeah, I may know who you are, but I've never, like, you don't know what my father's name is. Like, you know, like, so it's
right.
So that's where I, being in, not saying that I'm not saying that I'm in the public eye, but I make sure that I try not to post anything on either my fan page or my personal page that is in any way going to incriminate myself or the companies I represent, like RacePack or Ted Weens, JBS, you know, like the companies that are, quote, paying me to race, or I'm representing, you know, as my daily job, right? So if I'm going to say, oh, checking it, or somebody tagged me on some photo, like I happened to be at a party or something or whatever, and I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I'm standing in the background and some guy's doing a keg stand on, you know, some big old keg, like doing something that he probably shouldn't be. I'm physically not doing it myself, but they're tagging me in these photos. I try to stay away from that. And everybody says, well, why? Like that, you were there or whatever. Like, well, yeah, but I was there. It's like guilty by association. So then you start turning into the guy that's like, oh yeah, well, you know, so-and-so, whatever. I unfortunately have a block on my stuff for that, because I have to approve anything that goes on my page. Because and then you'll get bots, and I originally did it because there was bots and all this spam stuff that was like showing up like, hey, how about some Ray-Ban sunglasses? Like, I was getting like 9 million of those because people were getting hacked. So I put, like, there's a lot of cool things on Facebook now, like with ways that you can,
oh, for sure,
regulate yourself and what people see and perceive and all that, which I feel is a very good thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm using social media to promote myself and my sponsors and my racing. Am I really concerned about, I don't know, like what's going on in Florida, that somebody that I went to college with? Not necessarily. But,
well, you know, the whole Facebook thing is kind of like, which I'm on it a lot. Now, I also look at it from the standpoint that it is an image situation. Like people to take photos and post, you know, I think that's the big thing on Instagram and Snapchat. Everybody posting pictures of their what they're eating, where they're at. You know, it seems to always be all the happiness.
It's a status thing. It's what you want everybody to perceive your life to be.
Yeah. Guess what? No, I don't. I mean, yeah, we have some good times, but heck, it's, you know, 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm grinding the freak away here. I don't know if that's social media Snapchat worthy, but what the heck? I got to do it to, you know, keep racing and pay the bills. I don't know that I look at Facebook sometimes, the political back and forth, it's kind of like being in the high school cafeteria having the debate about whatever's going on in the social circles.
Aside from that, it's also public. So that political debate that you're having, that somebody that is very close to you may not have the same opinions on, you've just got yourself in a world of hurt, because now they're judging you for something that they're not even involved in, and they're just watching it play out.
Right. And that's why I just, you know, and it's tough. It's tough a lot of times because, you know, me being a retired military guy, when people say certain things, you know, I've kind of taken the, oh crap, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank now. Herb. Herman. What's Herman's last name? Coach Herman. He always says, don't press send.
Yeah.
Don't press send. And I've found myself in that numerous times. To people say something and I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind? And start typing away, and then I'll be like, delete.
Oh, I get in situations like that all the time because people like, say for instance, like they'll have their data logger, right? It happened to not work, right? 9 times out of 10, it's operator error. And they're bashing up and down, raise pack this, raise pack that, blah, 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 thing didn't work. And then it turns into this big debate, and then I get tagged in it. And, and it's like, that's fine, but I have to watch what I say because I'm representing the company, but even though it's on my personal page, right? And I really want to say, hey, knucklehead, push the record button, and it'll probably work. Instead, you have to say, you just at the end of the day, you have to watch what you say because I don't care what it is. And I know there's a lot of people that out there that say, well, I don't give a fuck and I'm just going to say what's on my mind. That's all perfectly fine. And I'm an advocate for that too. Buddy. Yeah, by all means. But I like to think before I speak or type or hit send. Because of that, because at the end of the day, it's just going to come back and bite you in the butt.
Yeah, political and religious conversations, topics do not, in my opinion, are not the place to get played out on social media.
No, because if you're trying to promote yourself and or your sponsor, I don't care if it's your personal page or your racing page. I get that conversation a lot because I'll tell some younger kids or whatever, hey, like I saw you posted this and, just not trying to be your elder or whatever, but maybe just kind of keep an eye. Well, that was on my personal page and my personal page is private and I have a racing page. Because even though you're private or whatever, when people tag you and things, like it shows up, people see it. And then you're going to get plagued as something that you don't want to be plagued as. And it's going to ruin things you got going on.
You cannot, what's my favorite one? Teenagers that are not of drinking age.
Oh,
and they're hanging out with people that are of drinking age and they've got cups in their hands. And it's like, right? So, and I got to digress because it just triggered a story. And of course, it's not about a rental car, but this goes back a few years. I was actually in Charlotte at an event with that was next door or across the street in the block downtown at a charity event. And Cam Newton was at this event across the street, right? And so we're at this event on the other side of the street, and everybody's like, talking about Cam Newton, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm from Carolina. I'm a Panthers fan, right? I want to see this. So these girls, Cam's out, he's signing autographs, right? He's out there, he's in the public eye. These girls come up and they are drinking and they have legitimate drinks in their hand. They come up to try to take a picture. Cam says, sticks his arm out. Whoa, no, I'll take a picture with you, not with your drinks in your hand. And they're like, and it was kind of like a little boisterous for a minute. He's like, you want to take a photo or not? And so that whole situation is he's not going to be associated in whether he's in a bar or not. I've seen a lot of his social media and he may be on a bar, maybe, at a concert or whatever. I've never seen him with an alcoholic beverage cup. Now, of course, my email will blow up and people will send me all these photos, right? But
that would be hate mail at racersrentalcars.com.
Right, for sure. Subject line, I don't care. So, it's all about the association. You're guilty by association. Mm-hmm. If that's how you're acting, then that's what you're doing. That's how people see you. And so that's why I always say, I don't think that religious beliefs and political beliefs affect how you perform on a racetrack, how you perform in a boardroom when you're selling something, and how you perform in actually being a human being to communicate with others. I don't think religious beliefs and political beliefs have any impact on that.
Well, let's take that to the next level, right? Well, I don't post anything about religion or political or whatever. I just go on there and, I share some thing that, making fun of somebody or did you see this guy's crash? What a freaking loser. Like, the guy, no driving fool, blah, blah, blah. Right. Number one, you got to watch that because you don't know the situation. You don't know the track stuff. You don't know what broke in the car. Like, it may have looked like the guy spun it out in the burnout. Well, did the axle break? Like, we don't know all the details, and the devil is in the details always. So, always. You got to be very careful because then it's like, then you go to the next race and it's like, oh, well, Don was critiquing the shit out of this guy's driving technique. The guy doesn't even drive a dragster or door car or like whatever. Like, right. The keyboard warriors, like they'll sit there and they'll just type away and portray their opinions, and then you go to the track and they won't even say two words to you.
Oh no, you never know. These people that you think they're your friends, right? Because they're liking your comments or your posts, and then 30 minutes later they're over high-fiving somebody else that you're going, really? Okay. Yeah. Noted.
Oh yeah.
No, and it's tough. Social media is everything for every, and today, we're talking about, why is it important with racing and stuff. I was listening to another podcast last week talking about NASCAR and their downfall, right? And what the big challenge with social media with their fans is that people can pick the phone up and I think we even talked about that a little bit. They can pick the phone up and know what's going on at an event and hang up from it. So what entices them, right? And so I think a lot of times the social media aspect of it in racing is that you need to entice and push and promote the sport and the racing association in a positive way. Because if it's negative, if one person says it's negative, you may turn off 10 fans because you don't know where theirs or where their followers are coming from, where the eyeballs or the impressions and the touch points are going to happen. And so it's it's problematic because it's a double-edged sword. If you're sponsored by somebody and you're on social media on Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook and you haven't made a post in like 3 months, 2 months, but your sponsor is following you and they see all the posts. Oh, you're at such and such, you're on the beach. You went to so-and-so's wedding. You don't have any of this time to actually sit down and talk about my sponsor,
Well, yeah, so, I go through that a lot because people, I want to get sponsored by RacePack, blah, blah, or whatever. How do you get sponsored? Well, first of all, do you not think that one of the first things we do, like if somebody, like during our Team RacePack program or whatever, like you fill out the application and it says Facebook link, Instagram link, number of followers. I don't care if you have 4 followers or if you have 400,000 followers. When was the last time you posted a photo and was it relevant content? Now, and I'm not saying to be a robot and post only racing related stuff. That's right. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're posting stuff on your personal page that's probably going to backlink to say your racing page or whatever, I know you're active on social media in some way, shape, or form, but it's not what the stuff that a company is looking for. So, I have 50,000 followers and I've won 9,000 races or whatever, but you haven't posted at all, or the things that you've posted are about some meme or whatever that's, not appropriate. So then when one of our customers,
appropriate? What would not appropriate mean? You mean that me showing a meme of a girl in a bikini on a beach pouring beer out of a funnel all over would be inappropriate for, let's say, a female-owned company?
Potentially, yes.
Oh my God. It's amazing. I had somebody last week send me a text and they were asking for their kid about, who's like a role model at the professional level for a lot of social media. And believe it or not, I had to tell him, I had to give him I was going to have to get back to him because I wanted to respond really quick with Alex Laughlin.
No, he does a great job.
And so I had to go back and look and make sure that, I went back a few months. He's not one of those guys that's out there on the ragged edge of being controversial, but he just does a lot of good content. And it don't matter if it's bush hogging on his farm or building a patio or hanging out with his family.
Well, here you go. He's a prime example. I agree totally. Alex is a cool dude and he gets it. Like, people want the backstory. We talk about the backstory all the time. Maybe I stick more so to racing related posts, but he's a way bigger name than I am. So people want to see more interesting stuff, but the stuff that he's posting doesn't necessarily mean he's doing something majorly inappropriate. He's showing them, hey man, like I'm living the real life too. Like I'm mowing my grass on my tractor and my farm or whatever. Like that's cool. Like that's cool. Even though it's not racing related, it's relative content to what he is and what he's doing and whatever. And it's not just, oh yeah, party. Does the guy drink beer? Hell yeah, I'm sure he does. But you don't see that on, there's a time and a place for everything. And he does a great job in portraying a good role model for, say a young kid trying to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. On the surface, he shows everything and it goes in an adequate format. And I think everybody's got to find their own way. There's,
100%.
I watch the webinars and I read people's, what they think is the social media playbook. And as an individual, you've got to find your own way that you go about your social media efforts. And I hope that when people do that they take into consideration what the social media strategy is for the people that support them, their sponsors or the potential sponsors that they may want to acquire.
Yeah. I don't think I really, at the end of the day, I mean, we're talking about a lot of stuff here, but personally, I don't feel like there's any special sauce. The only special sauce that I would recommend to people is think before you type. Think before you post a photo that might incriminate you, maybe not now, but down the road. Or in a racing related topic, let's say I'm sponsored by Lucas Oil, which I'm not, but all of a sudden my friend is sponsored by, what's another oil company?
Royal Purple, right?
And I'm liking their photos of Royal Purple, but I'm a Lucas Oil sponsored person, or somebody else is hating on Royal Purple Oil, and I'm a representative of Lucas Oil, and I'm saying, yeah, Royal Purple sucks. That's not a good idea. I don't care if, we're not out there for RacePack, right? I mean, there's a bunch of different data loggers out there.
Right.
I'm not going on Quick Data's Facebook and saying like, oh yeah, we're far superior, they suck, we're better, because what happens if in 3 years you lost your deal with Lucas Oil and all of a sudden you just sent a resume because you need an oil deal to Royal Purple? A simple Google search states that you think Royal Purple Oil sucks. With 2 Ks. Yeah. No, that's, you're absolutely right with that. And people don't take into consideration, what's your buddy wearing? You're taking a picture of somebody in your pit of your car or whatever, and they're wearing a T-shirt for the direct competitor for the company that you're posting a photo for. And you tag that direct competitor in your photo.
And you're like, are you for real? I mean, come on.
I'm all for a friendly rivalry, but friendly keyword, not bashing other people's products or efforts, or, you know, oh, this guy is sponsored by Peak Oil, so fuck him. Like, that shouldn't be that. I don't, you know, like, I don't have an oil sponsor out, so I'm using these names because everybody knows them. So I use a lot of different oils in my life, and they're all fine, and they all lubricate my engine perfectly fine.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because it really, if you want to break motorsports down and think about the three biggest social media rivalries, right? They revolve around consumable products, right?
Yep.
VP and Sunoco, Hoosier and Mickey Thompson, and Lucas Oil and anybody else.
Yeah. Well, here's a prime example. A good friend of mine he's really well known with Hoosier tires. I've been a Mickey Thompson guy forever. Now, am I going to go out and bash Hoosier tires? No. They're round, they're black. They work for some people. My Mickey Thompson tires are round and black, and they work for me. And I have a great relationship with them. Does that by means say that Hoosier tires are bad? No. I can't say that at all. I've actually used Hoosier tires before, back a long time ago, and my car went down the track. So like you said, the friendly rivalry and the consumable products out there, like, yeah, there's a lot of that, which is great. But just at the end of the day, try not to bash your competitors to try to get one up on yourself. Or
you're not getting any points. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing. And you're also not displaying any loyalty, really. You're really displaying unprofessionalism and ignorance. I mean, I make jokes about Hoosier all the time, right? To people. I know Frank Papp. I know Farron. I love the fact that Hoosier Tire and Mickey Thompson are as competitive as they are in the marketplace, because motorsports needs competition in the motorplace. You need it. You need it in the motorplace. You need it in the marketplace. You need it at the racetrack. You need it online. But they don't need to be hateful. It doesn't need to be derogatory, you know, and things of that nature.
Well, yeah, because we go back to the same thing. What if in 3 years you lose your Hoosier deal, and all of a sudden you're shopping around for a tire deal and you end up on Mickey Thompson? Yeah, it's simple math.
Yeah, just don't do it. Yeah, it shows it's hard. That's some serious restraint, because it's you think you want to say it's unprofessional, but I think human nature, and it happens on social media, Instagram. People make, what's the one that all about the cyberbullying with teenage girls, and their high school friends are belittling them, and they're fat and stupid, and girls are killing themselves and things of that nature. Just all kinds of bad stuff. It's like it's always so easy to be negative over just being positive and supportive, regardless of what the topic is. We don't need people to go bankrupt and leave the marketplace or the world of motorsports. That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, I know we're getting long-winded here, but I guess I'll leave this by saying, make friends, not enemies. And social media, same thing. Because you never know when you're going to need that person. And I mean, why don't we all just get along?
I just want to say, can we all get along?
Like it. At the end of the day,
man.
And the thing,
where's the Girl Scout song at for Kumbaya?
I know, but
some Girl Scout cookies.
At the end of the day, I'm telling you, and there may be, 20 years ago, people were talking shit on Peak Oil or whatever, but there's no proof of it because there wasn't social media. So there you go. Right. Learn from what's going on and be relevant. Whether that's making sure you're posting relevant content about what you're doing in a positive manner, not bashing other people, not bashing other products, and portraying yourself having a good time and a good person. Who wants to sponsor the jerk?
Oh, I don't know. Who would be pick out in NASCAR? Everybody calls Kyle Busch the jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Hashtag not fake news. I like Kyle. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. And what's his intro? I don't need any introduction. You know who I am. And drops the mic. Hashtag boom. Anyway, who would be the jerk in drag racing? If we had to pick a jerk, who would the jerk be? Who would, I want to do my best Dan Le Batard gas bag. Put it on the poll. Put it on the poll. Man, who would be a jerk? Well, I guess if you want to go modern era right now, you could probably say everybody's on Tanner Gray's bandwagon. They don't like Tanner. Tanner's throwing safety gear, kicking his car. Okay.
Or people say that about Steve Torrance too. He's always been super cool to me, like, but it's because he's an intense racer and he's out there to win. Like sometimes people, like he even said in one of his articles the other day that I was reading, or maybe he posted it. It's like, I don't want to start talking because everybody's going to take it and construe what they want out of what I say, which he probably plays into that 100%. But, and then I guess this turns into a whole other thing, then you get the NHRA or whatever. They want controversy. They want all these things, but then you'll end up getting fined because you said the wrong thing.
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too with that. I mean, but also I don't want people to be fake either.
Right.
I think a lot of times, so is it, are they having a conflict with being mutually respectful on social media professionally? So like, in the military, we kind of teach the different levels of respect. Like I can respect you professionally. You and I can have mutual respect, and then we can have what they call human respect. I think in motorsports, everybody's got to revolve around those three things, and the same thing in social media, especially with products and between drivers. I don't have to like you as a human being, but I should have human respect for you. We should be mutually respectful to each other. And we definitely should have professional respect because the pool of racers is very, very small. And if we start losing them, then we'll start losing a sport. So,
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I guess that was a soapbox. I think I just tripped off mine getting down. So, I don't know, Cam. I just hope kids and racers alike will make sure that they're more active on social media, but think before you press send.
Absolutely.
Think.
At the end of the day, I know we only touched on Facebook and a little bit of Instagram, but I guess all the things apply. Think before you type, think before you post that photo, and think of who is in that photo as well. And with that, as per usual, we want to thank racepack.com and dragsforsale.com and Voice America for asking us to do this podcast. And we hope all 10 of you are still enjoying this. And if you are...
5 last week.
Oh, okay. So. Well, there you go. Well, if you are, tell a friend. Post it on social media in a positive way. And if you if you have hate mail, that's hate mail at racersandrentalcars.com.
Which is not on the website.
Yet. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks. And Don, as per usual, thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Later.
Let's